have my planner, I have my wine, I also have my notebook, I have all the physical copies of the books. I think we're ready. Hello, hello. Welcome to the quarterly reading wrap-up. We are going to talk about all the books that I've read, all the wines or some of the wines that I am pairing with the books, the rating that I gave it, even though I don't really like the rating system. I just use it because I know that it helps others. I'm trying to incorporate those with my books and wine. I also want to say that I am really enjoying my lip combo today. It is MAC satin lipstick in the shade 813 Mocha. It's this color in the middle. And then I'm using the liner NYX Suede Matte Lip Pencil, and the shade is Club Hopper. In more morning announcements, even though it's the evening, I have a very obnoxiously tall glass of wine. It is chilled because I don't want to go back downstairs for a while. So I just topped it off for a couple of glasses. You know what I mean? We'll be here a while and it is Friday. So I feel like it's only right. I also, last announcement, I promise. Oh, Chateau Ylan Velvet Reserve. Anyway, I also decided that I am going to redo this video. So this is take 2. We're gonna figure it out because some of the books are not in my presence. Am I amped up about it now? I am in better spirits. When I first filmed it, I felt rushed, even though nobody was rushing me but me. And I feel like I was scattered. So here we are, take 2, and let's get into it. It's good every time. It's getting heavy. Ooh. Let's go ahead and talk about the stats. For the second quarter, April, May, and June, I read a total of 22 books. I even surprised myself. For April, I read 7 books. For May, I read 8 books, but only 7 were documented because I guess it's not in the database yet, so I have to input that. And for June, I also read 7 books. So let's go ahead and talk about April, what I read, what the top rated books were, and what my average rating was. So here is the stack for April. There we go. All right. Okay, so first up, we have The Perfect Find by Tia Williams. This is one of 2 books that I own from this author. This is the first one that I decided to read. I do have 7 Days in June, but I did talk about this more in detail in a reading vlog. I don't want to take up time talking about books that were already talked about in a reading vlog quite thoroughly. I will say, I have already seen the movie and I was upset. Let's start with the book though. So while reading this, I came to terms with the fact that I have been reading very fast-paced fiction books. And when I got to this one, things started slowing down. And I was like, wow, this is very slow compared to what I have been accustomed to over the past few months. So I had to really adapt to how slow that this was. And it being my first rom-com, I was very scared because I didn't know if it was going to be cringy or not. I didn't know if it was going to land on the jokes that were going to be in here, but I found myself laughing out loud and even wanting to be in some of the scenes. So look for the reading vlog and see how I really was reacting in somewhat real time to what I was reading or my reactions during the process of me reading it. Now, I will say we do have some scenes here that I've annotated. I placed here, oh, it's in a light green, so you can barely see it. But anyway, I have these annotated for scenes that I hope make the movie. And, well, this book I actually gave 4 out of 5 stars. And for some people, very surprising, very shocking. I think I'm in the number of people, quite small number of people gave it a higher rating. But I rated it 4 out of 5 because I had a lot of scenes that I enjoyed. Things that I did not like, the constant reminder of how young the male main character is. I did not like the fact that the ending ended the way it ended in the book. And I also felt like, I don't know, some of the scenes played out in a way I thought was strange than what I thought it would, but I'm no author. I don't know how it's supposed to go for real, but it was still somewhat enjoyable. So I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. I would recommend it to the people that watched the movie but did not read the book. And as far as the book versus movie aspect, the movie kind of started in her parents' home, which I thought was interesting. I think that I would have preferred if the movie maybe started out with her getting constant calls about coming back to New York because there's an emergency, and it would have been her ex-boyfriend's mother's emergency, and then that would bring her back to New York. And then she would stay with her friend and then realize, you know, New York is where I need to be. This is where I love to be. Let's take you out after you find this job. We're going to celebrate. I feel like that would have tied in a lot of the relationships that she has and made a little bit more sense to those that didn't read the book. And that way the pacing might have been a little bit better, but we definitely missed some key points from book to film. And that's all I can say to that. And here's the clip or clips from when I watched the movie with Shelly. I think we're ready.
I just want to say, if we hate it, Netflix, save it.
We feel empowered because we read the book first. All right, let's hit play. So we are 15 minutes in. It is not going well. As people who are comparing the book to the film, it's not going well for a couple of reasons. In the opening credits, we saw that the ex-husband is probably black. We're off to a bad start. He's not supposed to be black. And we get to the coming out party for the it girl, Jenna. She should be drunk, met a man because Elodie introduced her to a man. She's hot and already slinging around I love you.
Like me. What are we doing? Okay, let's talk about this. I didn't get to see y'all getting dressed. I didn't get any backstories. I hopped from, please, baby, can I get a job, to now I'm at a party. I'm not drunk. I'm not even high. I took one puff. And I'm tonguing down this young man who just told me that he loved me. Chair didn't turn over. We didn't even get to see Diablo. Wasn't the man's name was Diablo?
She said he was like Diablo. We only needed like a clip of that. We didn't need a whole full-on scene.
We didn't even get like an African man passing by. Hello, nothing.
We didn't.
Nothing. We don't get nothing.
I'm getting a little concerned.
I'm getting irritated.
It's only been 15 minutes.
I have 15 minutes and I don't want to watch the rest.
We're gonna keep going.
I would rather work as a hookah girl in a wing spot.
I think the wine of choice is going to be a Napa Valley situation. It's okay for the moment. I think that the dinner scene was done really well in the book, and I hope that more people read the book just so that they can fill in the gaps that the movie did not fill. 4 out of 5. I've realized that I'm talking too much already and we're only one book in. Ember is next up. This is a novella by Sky Moon. It is in a series in relation to a fire department or a firehouse and a police precinct, station, division. This is the first one I read. It's book 1 in the series, and I will say that I cannot look at firefighters the same. I have questions about protocol. What's going on in that firehouse? I think that this was a nice start to a series. It gave me insight, whether it's believable or not, the insight to how the people that put their lives on the line for others, how they then have relationships with people outside of work, how challenging that might be. Also, the people in their lives, how they react to them after they've had a traumatic work experience. Are you able to handle that type of life, living with someone who sees death often, who sees trauma very often, who puts their life on the line and risks their lives for other people? How do you cope with that as the partner of someone that does this for a living? One of the main characters is a victim. The other one is the fireman who helps rescue her during an accident. There's a lot of time in between where they don't see each other. I can't tell you too much because it's a novella. If I tell you too much, then that's the whole novella. But it is a good read. I think that this is also one that if I was going on a trip, I would take this to the airport. I think I'm going to do this for TikTok as well, talk about airport reads. It's a subtle cover. Nobody would be in your business. It's short. By the time you get to your destination, you would have been entertained on the plane. If your plane doesn't have maybe any in-flight entertainment, this can be your entertainment. This was nice. I give it 4 out of 5 stars. I think that there is another one that might have a higher rating. But for the wine of choice, Sky Moon, I think for Ember, Sky Moon is the author. I think for Ember, I would definitely say Stella Rosa Black. It is a little bit sexy. It is a little bit fun. There are some playful moments in here as well, even though there are some elements of just reflection and hopefulness. And I think the brother of the female main character in this book is hilarious. Both of her siblings actually are quite funny, but her brother is extremely hilarious. But anyway, this one, 4 out of 5. Ooh, next we have Ethic. Ethic, wow. Ethic never disappoints me. This is book 2 in the series, but this is my 3rd book experiencing Ezra Okafor. And I will say that wow, you've done it this time. My tabs, quite a few of them. I don't know if you're gonna see them. Oh, there they go. Quite a few tabs. We have new characters. I can't talk too much about it because obviously it's within a series. This one is very action-packed. It's very emotional. Oh, the roller coaster you will be on. So far, every book that I have read by Ashley Antoinette or the duo of authors, my, the way I speed through these pages, pull me over. It is a roller coaster that you're on, the emotions, the way that I have a lot of voice messages going back and forth with people as we are reading through these books, insane. I still give it 19 Crimes is the wine of choice. I can't help it. That is the wine that goes with this book. There is no way around it. 19 Crimes, 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5. Please, please. Can't say too much. Just please. Another novella. When I tell you I was on a novella kick, and it's taking me so long to get out of it so that I can really appreciate a full-length novel. Anyway, this cute and adorable cover is a lie. Okay? 90s kind of love, lay your head on my pillow. Miss Glover. You put this childish cover on here to throw people off. Okay, I would say this is an airport read, but I know better. Ember, maybe. But this one, this man is in love, okay? He is in love with his muse. She doesn't know that she's his muse. She has no idea of that. But they have met before. They have crossed paths years ago. And when they finally meet again, he takes his opportunity. She gives him a chance. And we'll see what happens from there. Now, interesting. She went about this in an interesting way, but it's her life. Those are the experiences she wanted to have, and she had them. 3 out of 5 stars. I only gave it a 3 because it didn't move me much. It was just okay. I think that if someone wants something quick, maybe a palate cleanser, maybe something just to pass time, I think this is cute. This is nice for the moment. It's not too spicy, but it's just entertaining if you want a short read. And I think for fun, we need to do a Moscato d'Asti, Bartonura Moscato d'Asti. It's fun, it's light, it's bubbly, it is celebratory, it is nice. Next up, we have Deeper by Rilzy Adams. Rilzy has grown to be one of my favorite authors when it comes to the spice. Now, this one is a short story, and I can't say too much because the novella that is before this one will tell you everything you need to know before you get here. But this one is very thoughtful. It is sweet. It is loving. It is caring. It is a bit emotional. It can be. I think that the thoughtfulness and the care that the male main character has is beautiful. And that's what you want for your husband. You know what I mean? That's what you would like showcased for the world to see. Deeper, 4 out of 5 stars. I can't give it 5. It's a short story. Like, it was 2 scenes roughly. Can't give it too much. But Rilzy can write spice, not too much in this one because that's not what this was really about. It was a continuation of Go Deep. Go Deep was beautiful and spicy and nice. But I will definitely give this wine of choice, Chateau Ylan's Velvet Reserve. Why? Because it's love, it's beauty, it's elegance, it's thoughtfulness, it's just patience, it's kindness, it's love, it's just love and care. Hello, Stace. Miss Abrams. While Justice Sleeps. This is my first thriller mystery of the year, and I will say, whoa, wow, what's happening? A lot of people need to be in prison. Wow. Okay. The justice is the judge that this is somewhat centered around. He is crazy for what he did. And Avery, I feel like because you are a party of one, but you rallied the troops, you got the work done. I don't know how, even though I read it, but crazy, you did it. Things were done legally or illegally, but things happened. The work was done. I don't really even know if all justice was served, but my, you guys are corrupt. Very action-packed. I also want to say that this might not be a good first thriller for some people. I think that this one comes with a little bit of extra legwork with the terminology, the kind of subject matter when it comes to what they're trying to solve. Maybe it wouldn't be as entertaining to some people, but political thrillers I feel like are up my alley quietly. And I also think that it was fun. I just had to work around like all of the characters getting thrown at me, but this is also in a reading vlog. And I gave it 4 out of 5 stars. The wine of choice is a Barbera d'Asti. I think that it needed to be It just needed to be a d'Asti. It just needed to be. You just had to be there. The reading vlog is linked above. And lastly, for the month of April, Surrender by Rilzy Adams. Another novella. What I can say is that the friends you make in college could very well be your friends for life. Now, the friends you make in college, you can make memories with for life. Now, what kind of memories they will be, that's up to you and that friend. If you made a promise back in the day, Are you going to own up to that? Are you going to fulfill that promise or that bet that was made back in the day? And if you're not, why not? And if you are you going to enjoy it? Anyway, heavy on the spice. Heavy on the spice. Okay? 5 out of 5 stars, Chateau Elan. Why? Because it's something about someone that has fantasized or romanticized about someone for years. Not in a creepy, disturbing way, but in a loving, yet lustful, yet passionate way. And when and if they get the opportunity, my. That's all I can say. 5 out of 5. Woo! Okay. All right. Ooh. Look at that. Okay. Kimberly Brown. This is the first book I read from Kimberly Brown. Kimberly Brown, I just want to talk. This is my first taboo romance. And when we enter the prologue, when the first line is, "What are you doing?" in a taboo, you are a dangerous woman, Kimberly. Why was this forming in your mind? I mean, I read it and I read it fast. But the thing is, so many things were happening when you so much was going on that you almost forgot what the taboo was. And then when you remembered what the taboo was, you were like, is it really that bad? No, it's still that bad. But we almost were worse than what it was. We were almost worse than what it was. So the fact that you really took us on that ride, and there was even a point where I was like, am I okay? Because the fact that something happened and I said, and that's fine. No, it's not fine. No, it's not fine. No, it's not fine, because he should not be doing that. He should not be saying that. Okay? And all of you around here acting like it's kind of okay. Like, can we all snap out of it? Can we all snap out of it? Because this also brings up another topic of people that lie. Parents being honest. 4 out of 5 stars. I feel like it needs to be 19 crimes because I didn't like how you made me feel. And I didn't like feeling confused. And I didn't like feeling entertained. Mess and stress. 4 out of 5. This cute little short story. Let me just show you the back. Don't let me down right now. Yeah. Can friends turned lovers, turned friends, become lovers again for good? I feel like this is a cute little airport read. This is one where it's like, hey, I am not one who runs through the airport, and I'm also trying to get my reading in. This is cute. While my plane is entering the gate, I can go ahead and read this, or while on the flight, if I have a short flight, this will be cute. I can watch a movie and I can read a book. I mean, this is cute. This was 3.5 out of 5 stars. It wasn't all the way 4 and it wasn't all the way 5. I just felt like I was missing something. This is more of a personal thing, but 3.5, it's a short story. It wasn't, reeling me in to keep reading. It was just like, I'll pick it up when I pick it up. I'll put it down when I put it down. It wasn't really much. 3.5 out of 5 stars. And it was so short. Do I need a wine? If I need a wine, I'm going to put Bartenura Moscato d'Asti. Because, I like the elements within the book. That was cool. It was a nice read. It was just nice. Hey, Seth. This is book 1 out of a series entitled Them Boys. Them Boys are Seth, Ja, and Shu. Beautiful cover, one of my favorites, because it's not giving the people too much, but I'm not going to read it out in public either, but it's very editorial-esque. I enjoy this cover. It's not full face and full body, it's just enough. Now, Seth is someone back in high school, was pretty rambunctious, All the girls knew he was trouble. We don't want to mess with the Mitchell boys. The Mitchell boys are trouble. They get into a lot of fights. I think somebody went to jail. Like, we do not mess with them. Anyway, we go back in time to a high school reunion, and that's where the two main characters meet. From there, we are brought back into present day, and we see what happens with them, if anything. Then there's a little bit of a plot twist, and we get introduced to another one of his brothers, which is kind of cool because it gets you prepared for the next book. I give this 4 out of 5 stars. I think that he was aggressive, kind of like the people driving outside. Like, are you okay? Anyway, so I think that he is a little bit more aggressive than I needed him to be. I feel like you're the older brother, and I feel like maybe that plays into it a little bit, but he was a little bit too much. A little bit too much for me, but still entertaining. And there is something that he did in this book that reminded me of Ethic in a way. It's something Ethic would do, but they could be distant cousins, you know? But anyway, we can talk about that after I finish the entire series, and we can really dive deep into all of the brothers. But 4 out of 5 stars. I would give it hot to trot for obvious reasons. Hey, Kimberly. Kimberly's back. I forgave her for what she did with When Secrets Collide. I forgave her for that. But now we're back. And can you imagine you are about to get married and you end up going on your honeymoon without your husband, and you take your best friend instead, and it turns out to be a vacation romance with someone that's not your husband because you ended up not getting married. But the spice, heavy on it, heavy on the spice, heavy on the chatty Cathy, heavy on the jokes and the laughs. But I also love the playful elements between the two main characters when they have alone time, and it's not just all spice. They really are sitting and talking about like what they see for their future or what they want for themselves. And I think that it is an emotional connection that is important to a love story. And even though it might feel like instant love connection or fast romance or some sort of like one night stand kind of thing, I think that adding that element lets us know that maybe it won't be. Maybe there's more to this, because the conversations they're having is very beautiful. The scene that's set and I have put in my mind is a beautiful sight to see. And I think that outside of the heavy spice, that those elements were nice, and I enjoyed it. 5 out of 5. And I think Stella Rosa Black. Why? Because it's sexy, it's fun, it's sweet, it's nice, and I would definitely give it 5 out of 5 stars. Liberated. Now, we're not gonna take too much time on Restore Me, okay? We're not gonna take up too much time. Jail Seekers, I don't know what you have in your pen. I don't know what you have on your fingertips when you are typing these words onto these screens. Jail Seekers, away with words. Restore Me. Now, thick, very thick, very, very thick. I talk about it in the reading blog, so not too much here. We're not going to do too much here. I give it 4.5 out of 5 stars. Why is it not 5 stars? For me, I think we had a little bit of redundance. I think that some of the scenes went on a little bit too long. I think that Dominic at times felt a little bit too much, but I understand why he was doing too much. And then Sloane at times, I know that you are grieving, but my goodness, ma'am, we need to also be mindful of where we're at. Okay? Okay? If we can do X, we can realize Y. You get what I'm saying? Like, we are in a space right now where I need you to open your eyes and open your ears because you're not hearing what he's saying to you. Anyway, 4.5 out of 5 stars. I'm not going to go into it because there is a reading vlog. Wine of choice. I have to say Chateau Elan Velvet Reserve. Why? Because there are some beautiful moments within the book. Like, let me pull a line. Look at my tabs. Look at my tabs. Is it blurry? Uh-oh. Look at my tabs. I even had to add an extra tab because the book is so big. Now, let's go to This is Beautiful and Maybe Heartbreaking. Oh, gosh. Let's go to one of the early tabs so I don't ruin anything for anyone. We can't read that one now, can we? Okay, he calls her Angel. He is very attentive to her needs, her feelings, her wants, her likes or dislikes. This is before the 200-page mark. The promise of God's love in human form, a treasure from heaven walking here on earth, making the lives of every person she meets better. And that's what she's always been. Even when her presence chafed against my skin and burned a hole in my heart. So the question for those that haven't read it would be, okay, so how did they become enemies? 4.5 out of 5 stars. And yes, I do have the other books in the New Haven series. I will be getting back into it, but we need to take our time, okay? Anyway, next up, ooh, we have another Sky Moon. This is book 2, Ignited. This one, whoa, 5 out of 5 stars. I'm just gonna, I don't need to take my time with this. 5 out of 5 stars. The fire person, the fireman that we are following around in this one, he is a little bit on the edgier side. He is all about work, a little bit about everything else. Like, he loves playtime, but he wants to make sure that his work is right. Until he finds someone that maybe makes him want more than just working and a little bit of play. And we find out that he enjoys groceries. Groceries. Yes, groceries. Okay, so anyway, wow. Both of the books, Ember into Ignited, you will hear about the characters that were in that book. They do show up in this one for obvious reasons. The people work together, and some of the stories will mix and mingle, and then we are prepped for book 3. So I have to get book 3 and 4. Now this one gave 5 out of 5 stars. I believe I said that already. I will not be giving it Chateau Elan's Velvet Reserve because I still feel like this is a Stella situation. Why? Because it is spicier and I feel like it's still very sexy. It is a little bit more action-packed. I will say a little bit more action-packed. So this one was rated higher for that reason. Like, we were really in the thick of it. Not, no pun intended, because it's serious. But like, this was really good. 5 out of 5. Sean, when you wrote this, were you playing? Because Pierre, the male main character in this book, is outrageous. He's a man that knows what he wants, and he's going to do whatever he can to get what he wants within reason. But when you decide that your friends with benefits situation is just not doing it for you anymore, and you know that you are never ever going to be out of this woman's life. This is Tallulah, aka Delulu. I think she is delusional, and I think she self-sabotages similar to Queenie. If you've read it, you know. But Tallulah self-sabotages. She has this arrangement with Pierre, and Pierre knows his position. He knows what he can and can't do, and there's not much he can't do. So when Tallulah is on a date, right, and she wants to freshen up, goes to the bathroom to freshen up, what you're not going to do is come in here. And what you're not going to do is tell me you are going to take care of me and then send me back to my little date. Pierre, have you lost your mind? Have you lost your mind? And that is how you act when you know that you're not going anywhere. You do what you want, you say what you want, and you know you're not going anywhere. But there is a lot of pushback. There is a lot of pushback. She is really trying to figure herself out, find herself. She has a situation that happened at the beginning of the book, relationship-wise, where it's like, I don't believe in love anymore because you guys are ridiculous. So now she created all these rules. It just was a mess. And I cannot give this book any more than 3 stars. As much as I enjoyed it, it just had too many errors, typos. It's just too many errors for me to bypass. Like, I had to read things more than twice to be like, what is supposed to be said right here? And I just did not like that. It took away from my experience, but it was still really good. It was still really good. I just think it would have heightened my experience. I'm trying to show you my tabs. There we go. I think it just would have heightened my experience if it wasn't all of that. And because she was just so ridiculous, it was like, come on, Tallulah girl. Delulu. You are really dragging it. You're dragging it. But I did love the fact that they are both from established families in the community. Her father gifted her a winery and a wine shop. It's kind of like a Chateau Elan. Oh, perfect. It's a winery and it's like an estate where they have hotels or a resort on the property. So she inherited that. That's her passive income. She doesn't have to work. So she finds hobbies to fulfill her time, which is great. You're not just living off what your parents gave you. So that's good that she found things that are fulfilling to her outside of just what her family's money provided her. So that's really nice too. 3 out of 5, I will say that. I would say Bartonura's Moscato d'Asti because she's fun, she's light, she wants to have a good time. She doesn't really want to stress about anything. She likes the idea of love, but she is afraid of love for obvious reasons. But yeah, and on the back it says, I met the love of my life when I was 10 years old. But yet you're acting like you don't even know the man. Anyway, ridiculous. Lastly, for the month of May, we have Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. This is a heavy hitter and another thick one. Very thick. Okay, if we're gonna talk tabs, this is what I have going on with my tabs. I know. Well, I don't know why this tab looks all crazy. What's going on there? Oh, it's just 2 of them back to back. Okay, anyway. So Long Shot is a sports romance. It is centered around love, hard relationships that involve violence of sorts, relationships that there's a little bit of grief there for the main character. He is still remembering his father. That's not a spoiler. He is someone that was an NCAA finalist and then he was drafted into the NBA. But from there, things take a turn for him. For the female main character, Iris, a lot had transpired for her. She had to grow up in a way that she never saw coming. She thought that she would be living a life different from the women in her family, just to turn around one day and realize I'm doing exactly what they did, and I thought that would never be me. They meet very early on in the book, and I thought the meeting was just really nice, and I enjoyed it, and I love the game of basketball. not one to play. I've played before. I would rather watch the game of basketball. But I love the game. Those of you that have watched my older vlogs, you already know. You already know. I was always at a game. Always at a draft night. I was always doing something with the Hawks. But anyway, so this book was really crazy. But it was good, and it was a page turner, and I can't help but say 19 Crimes is the wine of choice. You would think I would pick something more loving and beautiful, but no, 19 Crimes, because that's how many were committed in here. Maybe not 19, but at least 9, because even the siblings of those that were in this book, you know what? It's in a reading vlog. It's in a reading vlog. But from the time Caleb's name hit the paper, from the time Caleb's name hit the pages, he was a problem. This is not Caleb. I'm just letting you know that. This is not Caleb. Okay? Caleb, you, your brother, your father. What's wrong with y'all? What's wrong with y'all? And if it wasn't your brother, it was your cousin. But whoever that person was, what is wrong with you guys? That whole family tree needs to be chopped down. Crazy. Anyway, long shot. 4.5 out of 5 stars. I can't give it 5 stars because it was heavy. Yes. I think that it just wasn't 5 for me. It wasn't one that I feel like, even with the dramatic elements, the trauma of it, the frustration that you would feel in it. And I'm pulling in Moth to a Flame right now because that is a book that has a lot of lows. It has a lot of sadness. It has a lot of trauma and stress. It has a lot in that book. It is very heavy. And I feel like if I can give that book 5 stars, why can't I give this one 5 stars? It's something about it. It's something about it that's stopping me from saying 5 out of 5. But I can say 4.5 out of 5. 19 Crimes. Okay, and for the month of June, the stack is very small. Cute little adorable stack. I promise there's another book in here. It's 3 of them that I'm holding, but this stack is so small, and here's why. I was sent 2 arcs. 2. So that means I read digitally for the first time, and the first arc that I received was, well, we'll talk about it. Let's do these physical reads first, and then we'll talk about the books that I don't have in my possession. Okay, so Epic, my goodness. Out of the 3 Epic books I've read so far, this one has to be the most that we have stripped away of Epic. This one is really unpacking his feelings, his past, his emotions, not just the hard exterior that we know Epic to be from the past. Book 1, book 2, Moth to a Flame. I'm looking down here. I'm looking down because Moth to a Flame is on the lower shelf. But anyway, in those books, he has shown how strong he is, how powerful he is, how logical of a thinker he can be. But when he hits this book, we really get into his emotions. He's emotional in all of these books at some point or another. But this one, I feel like we are really at his core in a way. And maybe that changes for book 4, 5, and 6. But as of now, I feel like this book is giving me calm before a storm. I just don't know what's to come. Am I terrified? Maybe. But I will say still a very impactful book. There are scenes in here that I cannot get out of my mind. There are scenes in here that I find to be beautiful but aggravating. The scene where they are dancing. Messiah, I'm on to you. And I don't want to say too much because it's a series. Again, I'm going to read all of them and then we're going to do a deep dive on my feelings on each of the books. But for now, I'm going to say Messiah, I know what's going on. Okay, I've said this to Lisa, I said this to Charlita, I said this to Shelly. I know what's going on, and if people missed it, if people missed the little Easter eggs, the little hints, I don't know what to tell them, but I'm figuring you out, and I don't like what I'm hearing. I don't like what I'm seeing, and I don't like what you're doing. But I'm gonna ride the wave because everyone else is riding the wave. I'm gonna just go with it for now, but it's something. It's something, and I see you. 4 out of 5 stars. We're always going to do 19 crimes because crimes are still being committed. Things are still happening. I can only give these books 19 crimes until I see otherwise, but 19 crimes nonetheless. Okay, all right. Next, we have the first arc that I was invited to read. A Turn in the Air by A.H. Cunningham. I read Plie by A.H. Cunningham in the first quarter. Spice on top of spice on top of spice. Okay. A Turn in the Air is book 2 in the Wicked Move series. Now, what I've learned is that A.H. Cunningham has done the work. And I don't know if she is reading about the work and then putting them in books, or if she is a part of these lives. But in the world of kink, she is enlightening you, informing you of different ones. So in Plie, you will hear about a few things, learn about a few things, learn about consensual things, learn about the dom and sub world. In A Turn in the Air, you will learn about a primal situation, trusting your partner or potential partner, or conversations that need to happen before you enter that world. And I think the conversations need to happen whether you have a crazy kink or not crazy kink, but we're not shaming, we're just saying that you guys need to talk before you do anything. Because what if you don't talk? And then you find out, boom, this person's into this. Oh my goodness, when was I gonna know? You should have talked. Right, you should have talked. But anyway, so I'm looking at my computer. A Turn in the Air, roughly 350 pages. This is about 2 of the characters that you are introduced to in Plie, which is book 1. And Sal, she is the friend of the dance studio owner, Aisha, that is in book 1. And Sal is a little bit of a hacker. She's a little bit of a gamer. She is a curvaceous woman, very beautiful. She has a West Indian background. And for the man in this book, I say his name as Devon because I'm Jamaican and that is how it would be said. And he is Jamaican. So I'm under the impression that is Devon. Devon, now, dreadhead, he is Jamaican. He cooks very well, takes care of the women in his life. He is a dancer. Now, the thing with Jamaicans, older Jamaicans would not accept him as a ballet dancer because they find that to be a feminine profession. And he is trying to break barriers. He wants people to know that I can be in the arts and still be masculine. That is not unheard of. And he definitely will show you how masculine he can be throughout the book. He is someone that is very caring. And let me see if I can pull up a quote or 2. Let's see. And there is arranged marriage. This is marriage of convenience. And I find that Sal is similar to Tallulah in a way, because she's like, love, okay, I'm worried about what I'm doing over here. I'm trying to do you a favor. You're doing me a favor. Like, we don't have to act like we like each other like that for real. Like, it's just for whatever we need to take care of. Like, I'm trying to save you. You're trying to help me. Like, let's not make it something it doesn't have to be. You know what I mean? She has a hard time trusting men, and that's how her hacking comes in. She rights the wrongs of these men that do women wrong by taking everything they've got, giving it to the women, send the women on their way. It's a whole plot twist within the book. You find out more characters. It turns into like this top shatas situation. Now, I cannot give this book more than 4 stars, and here's why. The patois in this book is not good to me. I think that it was written of someone that is in the Caribbean, or if you say Caribbean, but I don't believe that this is from someone that is Jamaican. And if they are Jamaican, what kind of patois is this? Because I should be able to read it and understand the dialect. I was not catching it. I couldn't catch it. It wasn't making sense to me. I kept rereading it because I wanted to make sure that I am not being extra. Shelly was like, no. So that is the downside for me, is that the patois was not to my liking as a Jamaican. I can give an example. If we are 2 Jamaicans that are related, so if we're brothers, and I'm coming to see you, coming to visit you, I might say, wam. That's just me saying what's happening, what's going on, what's up. And I know everyone is accustomed to wagwan, but I would typically hear wam or wagwan, brethren, or you might say breda. You're not gonna say bro. And I was seeing a lot of wagwan, bro. I don't see that being a natural greeting. It would be wam, breda. I don't know. It just wasn't flowing for me. So I had to take off for that because he's Jamaican, and that's throughout the book I have to deal with that patois, and that patois was not it for me. So 4 out of 5 stars. I enjoyed it nonetheless. The wine of choice, I would still have to say 19 Crimes, because the crimes that were being committed in this book, wow. You guys are going to prison. Okay, next. Sanctuary. Sanctuary, because I'm on a book buying ban, I had to remember, why did I buy these? Why did I buy certain things? I know exactly why I bought this. I bought this novella because I want to know if I'm able to tap into certain worlds of reading. This is a noir immortal story. On the back, it says, young love lost, 2 hearts in limbo, an unbreakable bond, a love story for the ages. Now that I have read this, I understand, but a noir immortal's story. I think that I would have appreciated this more if it was a full-length novel, because it seems a bit rushed being a novella to me. But at least my eyes are open to what this world is about. If I venture into the fantasy space, would this be considered fantasy? Somebody let me know if you've already read this, because I'm feeling like that's the world it would be in. Because you doing all this time jumping, country jumping, like telepathic stuff, and you're immortal, so it's kind of like, okay. And something that really got me riled up with the man in this was that he was under the impression, when I get myself together, I can come back to her. She's the love of my life. Like, when I figure this out, I'll just come back to her. And that's y'all problem out in the universe, not just men, people. You think you have all the time in the world and you don't. So you over here thinking, oh yeah, I'm gonna come back in like 200,000 years and then it's gonna be cool. Oh wait, she might not be alive. So I need to hurry back. But whole time you've already been gone 15, 20 years. Like, the nerve of you. The nerve of you. So I think the woman in this was a little bit absurd at times. Let's not punch people in the face. And that's what I can say to that. The spice in here was okay. It was just okay. I give it 3 out of 5 stars. I think the drink of choice would be, I think it would be brown. I think it would be Brown Estates. Why? Because it's still a red blend. I don't remember the name of it offhand. But I would choose that because it is rich and flavorful. And this has elements of Africa in a way. And I think that it just goes. And something I've noticed about Alexandria House, you make a beautiful cover. You make a beautiful cover. Now, I've seen some of the other covers, no shade, I don't like those. But these covers, I do like these. Set, Shoe, I like those. This one, I love this cover as well. But this one, yeah, it was not my favorite. 3 stars for that. Next, we have my second arc. Okay. This one, when I tell you this author has been in my cart for a long time. And I'm saying a long time because I've been on my book buying ban for months now at this point. And she has maybe 3 or 4 books that are in my cart for when my book buying ban is over. And the fact that I had the opportunity to snag an arc, I was pleasantly surprised. This, let me just talk about the author for a moment. Kasha Thompson, I don't know you, babes, but this I know. You are now my rom-com queen, okay? You have written the comedy, and I'm into it. It's not cringy. Now, Sloan was a little bit cringy at times. I get that you're in anger management, but what? You don't even sense that you're doing too much right now. Sloan was a little bit ridiculous a lot of the times, but I will say this, that when she was self-sabotaging and talking down about herself, Dion would be like, look, you're beautiful. Girl, if you don't look in this mirror and see how beautiful you are, look at this hair, look at this body. Like, you are beautiful. Stop downing yourself. Like, stop it right now before I get mad. Dion is an older NBA player. He has maybe a couple more seasons left in him if he can help it. And he meets this woman in anger management. It was a great start to the book because I love basketball, right? I put myself at the game. I can see it because it happens. And when you're at the game and stuff like this happens, you're like, whoa, you're really angry. You're getting paid millions. Stop being so mad about it. But I get it. You're passionate. You're passionate about it. But when everyone's telling him how absurd it was for him to be that upset, and they were like, but you got mad because somebody threw a drink at you and you're making millions of dollars. And he was like, that's not the point. That's not the point. But I get it. I get it. You know, it's a respect thing. You're invading my personal space. Like, you need to be handled. You need to be put out. You need to be knocked upside your head is what Dion was getting at. But I love the comedy. I love the romance elements. I love the spice. The spice was quite nice, but something wasn't hitting on the spice for me. And because I know Kimberly Brown and I know Real Z Adams can write the spice, and I know JL Seegers is a spicy girl herself, it's like I know how spice should make me feel. And I wasn't feeling too uncomfortable, but at the same time, defensive stance let me know that I have no business in people's bedrooms. You know, I don't even need to be a fly on the wall because the things Dion is into, my goodness, I don't know if I can look at you. But that's me. But kudos to you and Sloan for doing all that you have done. Because when I read certain things, I said, wait a minute now, let me go back. Dion, you did what? Why would you do that to her? Why would you okay. And then when I found out what Sloan did, Sloan, how do you find out that you want to do this to somebody? And how does somebody find out that they like this being done to them? How do you know? How do you know? Because you did it to him, but the fact that you would have had to have done this before elsewhere to know that this is something that you like. And the fact that he likes it is kind of like, how did we know? How did we know? Matter of fact, I don't want to know. I don't want to know. But 4.5 out of 5 stars. I couldn't put it down. The fact is that I wasn't even supposed to pick it up for another week or two when I got it. But the fact that when I got it, I couldn't stop reading it. 4.5 out of 5 stars. The half is because I'm missing something in the spice. The spice was there, but it was like, I'm missing something. It is definitely hot to try. It's definitely hot to try. I enjoyed it. I was laughing out loud. And I was like, oh, okay. Next, we have Luca. Ladies love Luca. This is also one of the books that I read in a reading vlog. So please look out for the reading vlog linked above. This was a great read. I think that we have to be mindful that this happened over the course of a few days. I think that we also have to understand the space and time that Luca was in and what he experienced, why this happened so quickly. We also have to be mindful that he is a man that's coming from money. He has old money, he has new money. His brother got money, his sister got money, his parents got money. The whole city knows that he got money, and nobody talks about what they do for a living, but they know, don't play with the Eisenbergs, okay? He wants to be a father so bad. He loves the thought of being a father and a husband because of how he was raised and how he saw his father provide for his family and how loving his father was to his mother. I think that that was the driving force for him wanting to be a family man. And I think that you can tell Luca wants to be a leader and a provider, and he reminds his love interest of that. Look, you have to allow me to lead and provide and be the person for you. Let's go into, where is it? Okay, Luca says something like this. And if you don't love Luca after this, I don't know what to tell you, because this man is telling you everything. He is very cut and dry. He's not going to sugarcoat. He's not going to leave you with miscommunication. He's telling you, look, I'm grown. This is what it is. My boundaries are simple. Allow me to lead while you follow. Trust me. And I don't mean when it comes to cheating and dishonesty, because you'll never have to worry about that. I'm 36. I'm ready to sit down, build some stuff. Trust me to love, protect, provide, and lead. And he goes on to talk about his boundaries. And I think that that's beautiful, that there is a grown man ready to tell you, this is what it is with me. This is what you get. Now what's up? What you want? And how much you need. Luca, 4.5 out of 5 stars. The spice, definitely there. Whoa, the spice was crazy. Things that were not my favorite, the prologue being 22 pages. Next, I read Free to Love by Kennedy Ryan. This was her Juneteenth short story, novella. I don't really know what to call it, but I read that and I gave it 3.5 stars. It was just okay. It was a couple preparing to get married. It was just okay. I mean, people were like 5 out of 5. I was like, I love Kennedy Ryan too, but let's be serious. It was not, it was just, it was good. It was good. Like, I read it when I was getting a pedicure. It was good, but it was not like, oh, I'll never forget this book. I'll always go back to it. It's like two people that took matters into their own hands and they love each other. We know they love each other. 3.5. Next, and I can't give that a 1. Oh, Luca is going to get, definitely going to get a Chateau Elan Velvet Reserve, because it is a man that is not trying to confuse you. This is a man that wants you to know, look, I have feelings for you. I like you. This is what I want with you. This is what I can do for you. And this is what I hope to have with you. Like, this is someone who is stating their claim and they're being very open and honest about what it is that they want and what it is they want for you, and how they want to support your dreams and ambitions, and how they want to be a leader in a relationship. So I have to give him Chateau Elan Velvet Reserve. Next, we have Tethered Love by Kimberly Brown. This is like my 3rd Kimberly Brown book, and that's all within the 2nd quarter. But this book I gave 4 out of 5 stars. It went in a direction that I didn't see coming. And the fact that it did, the wine of choice would have to be 19 Crimes. I know it doesn't look like a book that would go in that direction, but it did. It did. The spice was there. The spice was there, but the crazy was there too. The insane was there. The outrageous was there, but the funny elements were there. The cute elements were there. It was a really good read. I couldn't stop. I couldn't stop. And I actually listened to this one. And I'll talk more later on about the apps that I've been using. And by later on, I mean in a different video. I don't want to say too much because it's still fairly new, I believe. So please give that one a read. And let me show you the stack. Ooh. Oh, okay. I don't know what I did to my chair, but it has slowly been sinking this entire video. I don't know why. I'll see you in the next one. Bye. I gotta call my mom.